Personally, for me, I do believe that the 39 Articles of Religion should be seen and viewed as a formulary for the Anglican Communion. I think that they should be regarded with a large amount of respect, that they should be honored as being really truly foundational documents that our forefathers created as a way to protect and preserve orthodoxy against some of the accretions that had snuck into the medieval church. And so I don't think that we should label them as just historical documents that really don't have a bearing on how we think about theology. I respect that position, but I think that there's room to go a little bit further than that. Nor, though, do I go to the extreme of saying that these really form kind of the fundamental standard of the Anglican Church, and they are not to be questioned. They are to be dogmatic. I think that there's more of a middle ground that can be reached. And so, for me personally, I would say that Anglicans of all stripes, including Anglo-Catholics, should affirm the 39 Articles of Religion. However, where I would allow for a little bit more room would be in the area of interpretation, right? So I think that if you have a very dogmatic stance on how the articles must be interpreted, then it becomes a little bit more problematic, because in the more evangelical and kind of reformed circles, what I've found to be the case is that the 39 Articles are often seen as being a reformed document, very much like the Westminster Confession of Faith or other reformed confessions. And so, naturally, with that kind of idea comes the idea that these must be interpreted in line with these other reformed confessions. Now, if that's the case, Anglo-Catholics really have no choice but to discard them and move to a different standard and source of doctrine. Because if the 39 Articles are dogmatically reformed, and that is the only way in which they can be interpreted, well then Anglo-Catholics who depart from much of Reformed theology really don't have a way to engage with the Articles in any sort of meaningful doctrinal sense. Now, if on the other hand, the 39 Articles serve as the foundation for Anglican specific kind of doctrine and clarifications about the ancient Catholic faith, and can be interpreted through the lens of the Catholic faith as it has been, passed down to us, then I think we actually can work with them a little bit better. And so I'm not saying that we should have a total relativization of the 39 Articles as though any and every interpretation is fine. We should take seriously what was meant by the 39 Articles, but we should also allow for robustly Catholic interpretations. And there are some who believe that the Reformed theological perspective is not always spot on in its Catholicity. And so where we see conflict with the early church, especially the 7 ecumenical councils, I think there's room for a little bit nuance in the way that we interpret the 39 Articles.